about each bitch. Yeah.
Quantum Beats. What's up, everyone? It's Area of Effect with one of your favorite out-of-the-box builds, the Santa Claus build. This is the Heavy Attack Healer version that I released last year, upgraded with the scribed skills, and this build is back and better than ever before. And look, Christmas might have been yesterday, but the holiday is definitely not over. I know that we have our family get-together this weekend, and I hope that all of you had a fantastic Christmas surrounded by loved ones and plenty of gifts. And I want to give this one to you guys. And also, I wanted to thank you guys as we near the end of 2024 for another great year. I know this year I was a little bit hit or miss. A lot happened in my life, from the death of my brother at the late end of last year into relocating the family, buying a house, moving, all that stuff, switching jobs. There was a lot going on. And I wanted to thank all of you genuinely for sticking around my channel, always giving support and encouragement, and being just the best fans, honestly. Seeing a lot of you out there, sometimes I see people I don't know just send me a whisper about they're a big fan of my channel, they're rocking this build or that build, and I love that. It means more than you guys think. But yeah, anyway, let's get to the video here. And look at this, sending a reindeer. We're gonna get to that. Santa sending a reindeer. That's one of the reasons, one of many reasons why this build is better than ever before. And let's jump in, starting with the stat screen. Remember, this build is actually just as much a healer as it is a damage dealer, depending on how you play. Our health is right where it needs to be, just under 30k for a Warden passive we'll get into later. And our penetration will go up by 9,000 with our shulks. We're focusing on some crit here. We got the Thief as our Mundus, keeping us over 40%. Jewels of Misrule, plenty of stamina and magic recovery with that max health. And by the way, that max health, you better take in consideration minor toughness as a Warden. That makes sure when you have minor toughness, you're under 30k, just under 30k. I'd rather be at 29.9, so I'm basically at 30k, but statistically, we'll get to that. But we're an orc. You don't have to be an orc, but I love a jolly orc as a Santa. Look at him smiling with his hands on his hips. But PvP passives, I love orc for the way they work in PvP. The speed, the mobility, the weapon and spell damage, the max health, and the healing off of the damage. I'm a big fan of orcs all around. Now, we also have all of the Undaunted passives. We get our 6% from the Undaunted Metal and our 4% for the synergies. But anyway, you don't have to be an orc. You can be a Magicka build, a high elf. You can be a dark elf. You can be a Breton, whatever. But let's jump into the gear now. Restoration Staff of the Sergeant. We're going with a crit precise trait on this. Like I said, it's putting us at like 46% crit. Max health, 124 health recovery, weapon and spell damage, and when you deal damage with a heavy attack, you gain a stack of Sergeant's Focus for 5 seconds. Now, you'll get 622 damage per stack. It's kind of weird. At the end of 4 stacks, it's something like 2,500, right? But it ends up being more than that as you multiply other factors like off balance and different things. Now, on this 1-bar setup, we did do a 2-bar setup, and you might have seen that in some of the clips. The 2-bar setup was using the Archdruid Deverick monster set with the gold bear, if you saw the gold bear in the clips. But for a 1-bar setup, we can only afford to have one monster piece, head or shoulder. So you could pick any that you know, there's Dami Haas will give you the double dipping into max stamina, max magicka. You could do a crit one, you could do a health one. But anyway, we're doing 1-bar on this build. The Curious of the Sergeant, it's a heavy armor set, so we want to wear that on the big pieces like the chest. The second 5-piece set is War Maiden. Crit, magicka, weapon and spell damage, and 579 to spell damage to your magic damage abilities. Now, why would I pick this? I went through Night Slayer, I went through Deadly, I went through Torque's Pact, different sets, but War Maiden applies to the Restoration Staff. Heavy attack, the long pulls, the pop at the end. War Maiden is magic damage, and a Resto Staff is magic damage. So the Shulks are magic damage. We picked our Reindeer to be magic damage. Then you've got your heavy attack being magic damage. Well, that basically, whenever you fully charge heavy attack, and we'll get into how you heal off of that, the more damage you do, the more healing you dish out to your allies. Now, we had a Ring of Oaken Soul or a 1-bar build. You guys know the buffs on that. Now, with the scribed skills, jumping into the skills now, all SIDS contingency. You basically heal around you for over 10,000, increase direct damage of your next direct damage attack by 2,000, and you gain minor resolve and minor ward, and so do your allies around you. But it's the increased damage done of your next direct attack within 7 seconds by 2,000 that makes the healing even better, because it applies to your pop when you release the heavy attack hit. With Essence Drain, if you look on the Restoration Staff passives, not only do you gain Major Mending, increasing your healing done, but you heal yourself or an ally within 15 meters of the target by 58% of the damage dealt. When you combine that with the Warden's skill, Green Lotus, which heals heavy attacks to over 5,000 to you or 2 allies for 20 seconds, also that's where you get your, well, on Oaken Soul we already have our crit, but it's not redundant because we're going to get more passives from the, right here as you see, heal yourself or an ally under 40% with a Green Lotus ability, Green Balance ability, you gain Major Mending, Magicka and Stamina. There's all these passives here, but when you fully charge heavy attack with Essence Drains, Restoration Staff passive, and Green Lotus, you're healing allies around you when you complete that fully charged heavy attack. So the bigger damage the attack is, the bigger healing you dish out. So as you see, we're at 18 as a crit, 18-8, 11-4 as a non-crit. Now I'm going to do Officer's Contingency. There you go. Watch, I'm going to keep casting Contingency. Now it's even higher. He's not off balance. I've got my stacks of Sergeant, but look at the base damage, even the non-crit. Remember it was like 10 or 11? Keep getting crits here, but that's not a problem. 14, almost 15. Okay, there's 11. Now I didn't cast Pulses. Now if you knock him off balance with the Reindeer, now watch. 39 as a non-crit, 23. Look at the dots though, 18,000 at the bottom, 39. Because off balance will increase their damage taken by heavy attacks by 70%. The good thing about PvE, if you're not using the Oaken Soul 1 bar, we were still using all SIDS. It's a Mage's Guild ability, so by casting it, you also kind of like free. You cast in power. Let's jump into the next skills now. Polar Wind, it's a heal for you and an ally for a big burst, almost 10,000, and then you get like the healing 24, I think it was, every 2 seconds. So it's a heal up front, a heal over time, and it's, yeah, look at him. Santa has to have some healing snow. The next skill, Magical Trample. I initially had this Frost, but I needed it magic when I switched it to War Maiden. You send the Reindeer out, 11,000 almost magic damage, that could crit. Creates an 8-meter aura with the class ability, the class script, under the enemies, okay, that not only snares them, but it charms them, okay, which is basically like a fear that makes them run to you. And then, of course, knocks them off balance. And that's what we're really going here for, is the off balance. Now, if you don't have that skill, you can use the Screaming Cliff Racer until then, because that's going to, as long as you're further than 7 meters away, you throw that in, it deals magic damage, just like War Maiden needs, and it knocks them off balance. So you could do that as long as you're further away. But we like to send the Reindeer in, see the off balance? That green bluish circle is the charmed circle. Now, of course, you can't fear the dummy, but look at 17,000 from a crit hit with that Reindeer. That's insanity. God, I love that he can send a Reindeer. He needed that more than I realized. Now, Deep Fissure, if you want to go with another heal instead of this, you can, but I like the fact that not only this deals damage and magic damage at that, but also gives them minor and major breach. So carving through 9,000 of their resistance, allowing us to hit harder. The harder we hit, the bigger our heal. So as you can see, it'll make a difference here. I'll do some flat. Let me get my stacks of Sergeant. As you can see, the 4 on the right, that looks like a rock. So now they're major and minor breach. See the gold-looking orbs above his head? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's major and minor breach. It reset with the second pull of Shulks. And as you can see, just with the stacks, not off balance, we're doing that much with our heavy attacks. And again, it's I love the bipolar aspect of this. Green Lotus, we already talked about that. You cast it, you get your Major Savagery and Prophecy. If you're not using Oaken Soul, you're going to need this for your crit. But also, as you have it on, when you heavy attack, you'll heal in addition to Essence Drain, a second value. And it's just, I noticed playing this build, the more you do like skill rotating, almost the less beneficial it is. You have to stay fully charged with your stacks on the Sergeant. If you can see it above my stamina bar, 4, 1, 0, and it falls off. You have basically 5 seconds, but it always looks like it says 4. You got to keep those stacks up at full. The ultimate, if you want to deal damage, is Northern Storm. Over 6,000 frost damage every second around you for 8 seconds. Reduces the movement speed of enemies and also increases your weapon and spell damage by 50 for every second it is on you. You could use the Bear. That does magic damage. That'll scale well with the War Maiden. Or if you want to be full-on healer, like you might have seen in some of the clips I had, I was using Healing Thicket. And let me tell you, I've got some screenshots and I'll post them here where I've healed and damaged for over 1 million, 1.4, 1.2 on both healing and damage in single rounds of BG. And it's just a great setup here that I landed with. Let me know if you want the 2-bar setup on that. And like I said, it was basically the back bar was Sword and Board of Asylum, the monster set of Archdruid Devrick, 5-piece War Maiden at all times, the Sergeant's Restoration Staff, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Also, if you wanted to use, I don't have it unlocked on this for the ultimate, by the way, another magic damage skill since we're using War Maidens. You want to capitalize on what you're using. Northern Storm is obviously frost damage, so we don't get that buff from War Maidens. Something else, when I showed the stat screen, remember War Maidens almost 600 adds onto the stat screen, but it doesn't really show up there. Also, with the Bear, if you went with that, you have like additional crit damage for each animal. So if you went with the Bear, with our crit being pretty high, you'd get even more crit damage on that pop. So maybe you want to go with the Bear for that extra magic damage, a companion. Santa needs a polar bear. But yeah, so if you look at our ultimate here, I cast it Northern Storm, the weapon and spell damage climbs up. Like I said, there it just dropped back down after you cast it. We're going with Northern Storm or the Healing Trees. Now, CP distribution. On the blue tree, you definitely have to have Exploiter. 10% increased damage to enemies that are off balance. They're going to be off balance from our Reindeer. Weapons Expert, absolute must. 20% more damage to your light and heavy attacks. That's going to scale up tremendously. We love that. We need that. Backstabber. I'm looking here. I need to put two more points in it. I don't know how they got out. But yeah, 10% critical damage done to enemies while you're standing at their sides or their back. And Arcane Supremacy just increased that max magicka by 1,300, keeping us close to 30k. All right, moving into the red trees now. Boundless Vitality, 1,400 max health. Just keep yourself under 30,000. Fortified for the physical and spell resistance by 1,700. Rejuvenation, 90 health, magicka, and stamina recovery at all times, constantly, and bracing anchor. You don't have to have this. I had this when I was using the Sword and Board for my back bar to be a little more sturdy. If you use the Bear, use Strategic Reserve. 30 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have. It adds up quick, especially with the Minor Heroism from Oakensoul. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the CP distribution and wrap up this build video, the Santa Claus build heavy attack healer. If you like this build and you want to see more, check out my channel. I've got plenty of content on there. Builds of all types, stamina, magicka, tanks, healers, damage dealers, and even some non-build related videos, tips and tricks, tutorials, and different things that you can check out that might be right up your alley. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and share, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a safe and Happy New Year. Here's to 2025 being a fantastic year. And yeah, thanks again, guys. Area of Effect, signing out.